And today, guys, we are back. Last week, I know I told y'all we were going to drop the Christmas special episode. It's been some difficulties getting the full video to load. It's been trying to get it all pieced together. There's been some files that are corrupted. So, we're going to put that on the back burner for now. Do my best to get that video out to you. If I can't, we have plenty of family gatherings. We'll get another one at another date, but I'm doing my best to get that video to you. But without further ado, baby, hey, listen, it's 2024, and seeing as it's 2024, we're gonna make a few changes to the podcast. So I want to give you these updates now, so starting from here on out until further notice. What I will be doing is more of a one-on-one like we're doing right now. This is going to be more of a solo podcast. And listen, we all grown, we all got jobs. Sometimes it's hard to get people in here to physically do the podcast. Excuse me one second. Now, what I'm working on is potentially getting my a Skype or like a video podcast type deal set up where I can call people via video and call. And we can do it like that, it's a lot more convenient, but I'm still working on that, still trying to get those ducks in order, get those ducks in the line, and it might take a little time. So until further notice, we'll be doing mainly the Dirty 30s or the one-on-one solo podcasting, but I still will have people that I interview, but they'll be more of like a special feature, for the month. So it'll be like a special feature interview. It won't be like every other week like we've been doing. That's really the only major change that's coming in 2024. Outside of that, it's going to be the same thing, baby. You send me the questions, we talk about them, we get it rolling. That's what we do, right? So with that being said, without further ado, we're going to get into the Dirty 30 Part 8, the first We Keep It Dirty of 2024. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for still rocking with me. I appreciate all the love. Without further ado, let's get right into it. You know what I like to talk about. I'm a sports guy. I love talking about sports. So we're going to start off with the big one, college football playoffs. This past, Monday, or the 1st of January. Big day for college sports. You got the New Year's 6, and you had the college football playoffs. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was very, very, very surprised. Give me one second. It's hot when you got my shit acting up. What was I about to say? Oh, so let's go. The day before that, Georgia plays Florida State. Now, for a lot of people, there was a lot of controversy around Florida State not being led into the college football playoffs. 63-3. 63-3. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Georgia, honestly, outside of Bama, maybe I say Michigan, because Michigan surprised me, and we'll talk about that game here in a second. But outside of Bama and Michigan, Georgia's right up there with them. Georgia's probably still is the best team in the nation, and they showed it in full force on the 31st of December. They beat them 63-3. Now, granted, there were a lot of players who decided to sit out, so they could go into the draft or whatever. I get that. I don't agree with it. I get it, but I don't agree with it. You played the whole damn season. You played a bowl game. It means something. Even if you're not playing for a national championship, it means something. Shit, you made it all the way to the end. Why'd you not give it, your last effort? Doesn't make sense to me, but I digress. That's the new thing going on nowadays. I believe the NCAA needs to do something about that. People shouldn't go the whole season and then sit out at the end, man. I think it cheapens the sport. And as you see what happens, Georgia played their whole team. Hell, Georgia didn't care that they didn't make it to the college football playoffs. They said, the hell with it. We don't make it there. We won the game we played. And they played and they showed out. Respect to Georgia and respect to Kirby Smart. I like his interview afterwards. He talked about what I just said, that NCAA and the coaches need to figure out, hey, if you play the whole season, you're going to play in the game. You're going to play in the bowl game. I don't care if you're transferring, which the transfer portal is another thing in itself, man. It's crazy. Kids are transferring from their teams right before the bowl game. No, you shouldn't be able to do it. You shouldn't transfer until after the season's over. What are you going to transfer before? That don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's the whole thing. But anyways, Kirby Smart basically said what I just said. Hey, man, we got to do something. NCAA needs to put some type of rules and regulations in there to control that, because it's kind of getting out of hand. But that was still, nonetheless, 63-3. I don't think if Florida State would have had the whole team, they could have beat them. I'm gonna be honest, they didn't. They didn't look like they could have done anything. But let's get into the actual good games. The games that the CFP cooked up, and people didn't like that they didn't put Florida State in there, but it was for a reason. It was for a good reason, because we got some good games. First matchup was number 1 Michigan playing number 4 Alabama. To be honest with you, I did not think Michigan could hold a candle to Bama. Bama's defense is too solid, and their offense is high-powered. They got a lot of athletes. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. Bama, they came out underwhelming. I mean, they came out very flat. They didn't play like the Bama that we've seen against Georgia. Definitely didn't play like that team. They didn't play like the Bama I've seen throughout the entire year. They came out it wasn't high-powered. Now, I will say the defense showed out. They got 27 put on them, including overtime, but the defense was locked down. They did a solid job. It was early the offense, man. The offense just couldn't get anything going, and the play calling. Don't get me started on that shit. Who in the fuck calls a quarterback dive on 4th and 4, 4th and 3, whatever the fucking yardage was? Who calls a quarterback dive? Who does that shit? I mean, that's a crazy. Do an option. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be an option and Jalen just took it, pulled the option and ran up the middle. But some shit needs to be said about that. I need Nick Saban to come out and say something like, yep, we designed it to be an option and Jalen decided to run it. It's all right. Like, not trying to throw him under the bus, but, give us an explanation. Because I don't understand why the fuck it looked like a quarterback design dive play. That's crazy. That makes no sense to me. Because if you rewind the tape, if he runs that motherfucker like an option, you do a fullback dive with a halfback option in the backfield. He kicked it. He could fake that motherfucker and run it up the middle. I mean, you can run it into that C to D gap, or he kicked that thing wide and let the running back get out there, because they couldn't stop the running back. They couldn't stop him the whole game. He was tearing their ass up. Then they go away from that. Yeah, man, I don't know. The play call in that game was, especially in overtime, Bama, was underwhelming, to say the least. It was underwhelming. Michigan I got to tip my hat. I ain't got my hat on, and I ain't taking this toboggan off, because shit's rough under there. But I'll tell you what, hat off to Michigan. They played a solid game, and Blake Corum's the truth. I underestimated Blake. I knew he was nice, but I didn't think he was running on Alabama defense nice. I just didn't see that happening. But that guy, he showed up and he showed out, and so did JJ. Shout out to JJ. Their defense, of course, their defense is lights out. I mean, it's them and Bama. I think Bama and Michigan got the 2 best defenses, and Iowa as well. I think those are 3 of the best defenses in the entire nation, man. So yeah, hats off to all of those guys. But damn, Michigan's DBs is the truth, which is something we're gonna talk about here in a minute as well. Going on to the next game, Texas and Washington. Now, I knew this one was going to be a shootout. Got 2 high-powered offenses. What it was going to come down to is if Texas's defensive line could get a push on Washington's offensive line, and they couldn't all night. Not saying they couldn't. They stopped. Now, they essentially shut down the run, which is also a big piece of Washington's offense. It's an underrated piece. Shout out to Dylan Johnson. He's a hell of a running back. But man, they was basically able to take him out of the game, but it didn't matter because Michael Penix threw for 420-some yards and like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, he had 2 receivers over 100, one at 80-something, one at 60. I mean, and then he got 3rd, 4th, 5th options he's hitting for 20-yard passes. It's hard to beat a team when you got a quarterback that can chew you up like that. And Texas DBs, they were not ready. They were not ready for that type of pass assault. They've been prepping it all week and all month, but they was not ready for that shit. He came out there on fire. So I got to tip my hat to Michael Penix. He showed up and showed out, and they won the battle. So with that being said, if you haven't been keeping up with it, what are you doing? But you should be. But with that being said, the matchup for the college football championship is number 1 Michigan versus number 2 Washington. Wouldn't have been my prediction. I had Bama and Texas in there for the rematch, and I thought Bama was going to win it all. But, hey, I've been wrong before, and I was wrong this time. I can admit it. So, shout out to Washington and shout out to Michigan. It's gonna be one hell of a game, baby. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to see that joint. And this day that they're showing that this Monday, January the 8th. I don't know what channel it's on. I'm sure it's gonna be on ESPN, ABC, NBC, one of the big ones. So just know it's gonna be a hell of a game. I am predicting Washington to win. I don't think it's gonna be it's gonna be tight. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be tight. But what's gonna make the difference? Michigan had the number one passing. They had the number one DBs in the nation. Excuse me. Number one defensive back in the nation. Washington has the number one passing offense, and so they have honestly overall the best passing core. Offensive passing receivers in the nation. Yeah, that's gonna be a showout. Whoever wins that battle is gonna win the game. Also, what's gonna be a big determining factor, just like in the last game, can Michigan's defensive line get a push and put pressure on Michael Penix? Because if they can't, and he has time to sit back there, so something's going to open up. And when it does, they're in trouble. Because that guy's a fucking surgeon with the ball when he has time. It's just dangerous. So that's going to be the deciding factors. The DB and wide receiver matchups, plus the defense and offensive line. We'll see how that goes. I'm still going Washington, beating them by 3 points to win the game. So we'll see how it is. That's all I got for college football. NBA updates. Shout out to Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio's retiring. I did not know this. I was just scrolling through, sports updates, and I seen that Ricky Rubio's retiring. Some hellified moments in Utah and Cleveland, and man, he's one of those underrated players that goes under the radar. He does the dirty work, the assist. He gets in a scrappy play defense. But apparently Ricky has been dealing with something. He didn't go into great detail about it. He just said it was something hard. So something, I assume, with mental issues that's been, really plaguing him. And he decided it was time that he put basketball down and he work on himself. So Ricky Rubio, if you hear this, man, I'm happy for you. I hope you get that, figured out. I hope you get well, become better. And thank you for a great career. Outside of that, though, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm recording this. What is the day? Going into the 5th, so I'm really recording it for Friday morning. I've been procrastinating all week. Nah, I'm bullshitting. I ain't been procrastinating. I really had a lot to do this week. It's been a busy week, but I should have done this earlier. So yeah, I guess I'm procrastinating. Anyways, I was watching the game tonight. San Antonio versus Milwaukee. That damn Giannis is the truth, ain't he? God, he's the truth, dog. The Greek freak versus the fucking, what is he? The France freak or whatever. I don't know what Wemby. I think he's from France or whatever. But man, those guys are going to be the future of the NBA, and seeing them two battle is going to be some shit. I mean, it's going to be and I think Wemby is he just turned 20. It's his birthday. 20 years old, 7'3", dropped a 27 bucket on one of the best teams in the league. This dude's dangerous. And he's undeveloped. He's like a gold mine that's just under the ground sitting, waiting for somebody to hit it and to find. Cause man, when they unlock his real potential, man, he might average 40 points. He might do what Joel Embiid's doing, but he might be out that motherfucker shooting like KD does. Cause he has a jumper. He has handles. I mean, he's dangerous. That guy's, shout out to Wembanyama. That guy's gonna be the truth, man. He got little boy tonight. Giannis had to show him, I'm still the big man. That's how that's how Giannis talked. But he had to show him he's still the big dog on campus right now. But yeah, man, what a fucking battle. 44. I think Giannis had like 14 and 7. Wemby had like 27, 9, and 5. I mean, them guys was going back and forth. Yeah, what a game. I don't know who's going to win yet. So I put NBA updates on this paper every time, but I can't give you, I can't give you any predictions at the moment because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. All I know is once we see how people play out of this All-Star break, that's going to determine where the predictions lie. So with that being said, we're going to go into the next question. Next question, NFL updates. NFL updates, man. The NFL is off the chain, isn't it? Did y'all see that Detroit and Cowboys final play? I didn't even watch the game. I just caught the aftermath of it. I caught the, all of the news press and everything. Apparently, it was a botch call, or like they scored and they called it back. Or like I'm not fully informed, but I know that Detroit was supposed to win. And the coach basically said that there was an egregious call from the refs when they just rescinded the play. I think it was like they scored like what 3 times or some shit. It was something crazy like that, man. But what it brought up to me was a point that needs to be addressed. Do the refs have too much power and not enough oversight? I think so. I think there's not enough oversights for refs. Refs can really throw a flag for anything. And yeah, they got the replay booth, but they had the final call at the end of the day. There needs to be a master ref that sits up in the press box. And if he disagrees with the call, he can hit the veto button. And the master ref needs to be a ref that's, I'm talking about 25, 30 years of experience, that has somebody over him that's like, hey, veto that call. That is not whatever the call was, that's not what it was. Your team got it wrong. They need to veto that call. And that needs to happen more, man, because I'm seeing a lot of refs make a lot of bad calls, and it's costing people the game. It's costing teams who are making potential playoff runs the game. I mean, Detroit was, I think, number 1 in that division? Or they still might be number 1, but I mean, they were pushing for maybe home field advantage. Now they got an L on their record. Knocked them from 11-4 to 11-5. I mean, come on, man. It makes a big difference. So, yeah, I think the refs need more oversight. And it was just some egregious shit. NFL, NBA, too. So many crazy calls. I've never seen so many sensitive-ass refs call techs on people for talking. People are going to talk, especially grown men, when they're playing a fucking game. Y'all know that. Y'all know how that goes. I've never seen so many soft refs. Stop calling a call because you got cussed at. You're a grown-ass man. If a motherfucker calls you a stupid motherfucker, call him a stupid motherfucker and get back down to court. Stop being a bitch. It bugs me. Anyways, yeah, man. NFL, though. I think that's the update part, the prediction part. Detroit Lions are going to win it all. I'm not a Detroit Lions fan. I like Washington, but my team don't have a shot in hell. We've been eliminated so long ago. Hell, I stopped thinking about the playoffs and us. I just thought about next season. So I'm going for the Detroit Lions, man. I remember when the Detroit Lions were 0-16. Do y'all remember that season? When they was getting a shit beat out of them every game. Everybody was like, it's the worst franchise ever. How they doing the Detroit Pistons right now in basketball? Sell the team. Send them away from Detroit. They was really shitting on the Detroit Lions. But, hey, I tell you what, they got their act together, and they look good, and they got a strong team, man. So I'm hoping them guys take it all the way. I'm rooting for Detroit. Detroit needs a win in general. The city does. So, Detroit, I'm rooting for you. I hope you do something this year. What we got next? Oh, yeah, and let me just interject real quick. So, usually by this point, we do a music segment where we do like a break, music segment. We will do that in the future, but for today's episode, I'm just going to run it all the way through. So I'm going to get all the questions out the way. Once I get the questions and the updates out the way, I'm going to end it with the music segment. So I'm going to try to switch it up, just see what it works like, see how it moves. If I like how it, how that flows, I might do that in the future. If I don't, we'll go back to the halfway through, finish the other half, end it out like that. So just going to try something new. It's 2024. Why not try something new, right? Anyways, that's NFL updates and predictions. Whew, fuck, I'm tired, man. I need to run. I'm telling you that shit. I tell you, so I'm not going to go on a tangent again. I was about to go on a tangent right there and tell y'all some unnecessary information. I ain't going to do it. I'm going to stick to the script. Anyways, last thing we're going to talk about today, comic updates. Apparently, there's a possible G.I. Joe and Transformer crossover coming. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I like G.I. Joe and also like Transformer. I'm not the biggest into them. I'm more of a, DC, Marvel, Star Wars type person. That's what I like. That's what I've always been into. So I'm a little more informed about those sects of the comic book landscape. But apparently, a G.I. Joe and Transformer crossover is coming in comic book form, and the comic book titled Duke Number 2. I don't know much about it, honestly. Just read it like probably 30 minutes ago. So if you're a G.I. Joe or a Transformer fan and you like both of the franchises, that might be something you want to look into in the future. The comic book hasn't come out yet, so you could probably get caught up with the first issue. Number 2, they said should be releasing within the week or two. So check it out. Duke number 1, Duke number 2 might give you some, might be something you like. What else we got? Jonathan Majors going, okay, so Jonathan Majors, as y'all know, if y'all actually watched, you know, some of my previous Dirty 30s, Jonathan Majors has been in a whirlwind of trouble with his legal issues, with his, you know, his ex-girlfriend basically winning her side of the court case, and Marvel dropped him. I mean, it's been a whirlwind the last couple weeks. If you've looked at any news, you've probably seen something come across about Jonathan Majors. Well, he's going to give his first live news update since the trial, per ABC News Live's Lindsay Davis. So be on the lookout for that. He's going to tell his side of the story, what happened, and yeah, man. Hey, there's always two sides to the story. Don't take one side and run with it. I listened to the side that I listened to all of the evidence they gave in the court case that they released to the general public for her side. I also listened to the side, you know, the evidence that they used for him. So I'm trying to get all the evidence. Like I said, I can put my opinion in it. I could be biased, but we don't know. So I can't sit here and say this and that. All I can say is I'm gonna listen to his side. If she drops something, or his ex-girlfriend says something, I'll listen to her side, you know, and we'll talk about it as the case progresses along and his career progresses along, which I do hope his career gets back on track. Great actor. I think it's just a crazy situation in general. Excuse me. So, yeah, we'll give updates on that as it progresses. Last thing I want to talk about, the Echo series. For those who don't know, if you don't watch all of Marvel's 11,000 things they dropped in the last 4 years now, there's a new character. Her name's Echo. She's Native American and she's deaf, but she's pretty damn raw. I'm not gonna lie. She debuted in the Hawkeye series. So if you want to get caught up on her character, go watch Hawkeye. I want to say it's episode 3. It's either 2 or 3 on to the end of the show. She basically has a main role in that. So Echo's a real cool character. She's actually was not necessarily the adopted child of the Kingpin, but she was someone that the Kingpin took notice of. He raised her, basically trained her, made her very vicious. He taught her how to be, you know, very, very, very vicious, and it served her. But she's a hell of a she's kind of like an anti-hero. She's not really a hero, not really a villain. Kind of blurs those lines, those are my favorite characters. But yeah, man, I mean, she's an interesting character, so definitely want to check out her series, especially if you're big into the Daredevil series. And this is the part that's really going to attract a lot of people. Kingpin, so Vincent D'Onofrio is reprising his role as the Kingpin. That dude is the truth. He's the best Kingpin I've ever seen live action. I hope if they make a Daredevil movie in the future or whatever they're doing, he's got to be Kingpin. His Kingpin with God, I'm drawing a blank. Please don't, comic book fandom, please don't shoot me. My hands are up. I'm drawing a blank on who plays Daredevil. Oh my God, my dog. It'll come to me after this, but the dude who plays Daredevil, yeah, best Daredevil. That's why they brought him back, and he also will be a part of the series. Those guys, their chemistry as far as hero and villain is just amazing. You really believe they don't like each other in real life when they play these characters. So, yeah, shout out to the Kingpin. Shout out to the Daredevil returning in that series. Also, to give you a preview of what Marvel's version of the Daredevil is going to be like. Because for those who know, you know, there's a Netflix Daredevil series that is now on Disney Plus. They took it off of Netflix because the contract's over. And it's on Disney Plus. One of the best superhero television shows of all time, bar none. I'm telling you, like, it's some of the best writing, some of the best storytelling, some of the best character development, everything you like about television series, they got it there. 1 through 3. I mean, it's damn near perfect. I'm not gonna lie. It's not completely perfect. They have, my man, it's as close as you can get. Anyways, yeah, so they're bringing back those two characters to weave them into the Echo series, which I think is a good addition to a new character that'll give her a lot of hype and possibly bring more fans to the series, and they're also doing this spin-off series where they're doing Daredevil Reborn or Daredevil Born Again. So basically, they're just revamping. It's going to basically be season 4 of the Daredevil series, which is what we hope. Hopefully, they don't do too much or mess it up. So we'll see how it goes, man. That's all I got today, guys. You know, like I said, we're gonna change a few things up. It's gonna be more Dirty 30s, more one-on-one podcasting. You know, just to keep content coming out to you, keep things rolling. And like I said, if you got questions, y'all know the deal. If you're watching the YouTube video, in my description, I will have all of my social media. So go under there, click the links, follow me, send me, your messages. Let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear, anything you like in that order, and we'll talk about it. If you do want to be on the podcast, that's still open. Like I said, we're going to do more. It's going to be more special episode, special guest focused episodes when we do interviews. And so then we will be doing visual format for those episodes. So yes, he will be visually recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, that's cool. We got audio. It's whatever you want to do. But let me know your story. Like I say, send in a synopsis of your life story, who you are, and what you want to talk about to this email, JAMMIONEIL2@gmail.com. Send that in. I'll get in touch with you. We'll get something set up, and we'll get that rolling at a later time. Well, guys, that being said, that is the Dirty 30 Part 8 on We Keep It Dirty, the JO2 podcast. I'm gonna end it with a surprise tune. It's gonna be a toss-up. So I don't really know what I want to play right now. You know what? Let's see. We're gonna scroll through here together. We're gonna scroll through here. You scroll through here with me, and we're gonna find something fire. One of my undiscovered, underrated talents on here. Okay. Yeah, I got one. We're gonna put a little unknown song by my homeboy RC3 on there, titled Tomorrow. Yeah, that's how we gonna end it, guys. So again, this is RC3's Tomorrow. Tune in next week for another segment of this one-on-one shit. We gonna keep it rolling, baby. And I appreciate everybody that tunes in with me. This is JO2, and I'm out.
Soldier got them bands, so
Hockey.
Yeah, lately been running shit up for real. Wonder what's on my mind, it's a couple million. Treat them niggas like they from the other side. When you what, they gon' say that they fucking with you. Who gon' be there tomorrow? When the lights fade and the cameras ain't flashing, you Becky, your heart froze. I know niggas be lying and bitch, you be fake, but no lady been running shit up for real. Wonder what's on my mind, it's a couple million. Treat them niggas like they from the other side. When you what, they gon' say that they fucking with you. Who gon' be there tomorrow? When the lights fade and the cameras ain't flashing, you Becky, your heart froze. I know niggas be lying and bitch, you be fake. From my mind, singing like Jada. Do this shit on my own, really don't need no favors. I pray to the Lord that I make it. Know the motto, get money or let niggas hate me. If you want it, no hesitating. Dream my means with nothing but pencil and paper. If people gon' say that they with you, better watch how they move it, they sit at your table. I got that hard cause she was ungrateful. Once she loved me, but that was a fable. Once y'all to pull up and say that she pregnant, but that whole line, she just want a label. Hard to put trust in anybody with so many scars in your bed. Now this shit, it get dangerous. Kept pulling knives out. Took my heart a long time ago, I hit the gas, got me feeling right now. I just pray for better days, I just want the money, they just want my lights out. Shooting star, and took 100,000 losses, tell me put the mic down. But it's tatted on me, that's forever. Tell them, hey, a nigga, that you need to pipe down. Tatted on me, that's forever. Tell them, hey, a nigga, that you need to running shit up for real. Wonder what's on my mind, that's a couple million. Treat them niggas like they from the other side. When you what, they gon' say that they fucking with you. Who gon' be there tomorrow? When the lights fade and the cameras ain't flashing, you Becky, your heart froze. I know niggas be lying and bitch, you be fake, but no lady been running shit up for real. Wonder what's on my mind, that's a couple million. Treat them niggas like they from the other side. When you what, they gon' say that they fucking with you. Who gon' be there tomorrow? When the lights fade and the cameras ain't flashing, you Becky, your heart froze. I know niggas be lying and bitch, you be fake for real.